Who?
obviously, with the rise of BLM, right? You upset about something? Go take a flat screen TV from Target. Somebody else will pay for it. You have a right to be upset. Somebody died that you didn't know at the hands of a police officer? You better run into Gucci and grab yourself a handbag, and no one can say anything to you. And if they say anything to you, you just be sure to call them racist. That's how it works.
Wow.
Say race, 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 throw down the race card, and people do whatever.
It is clear to me KLAN-dace Owens does not care about anything factual. Like, the whole point of her show is to say all the negative, stereo, racist, bigoted things that a white person wish they could say, or really anyone racist. She just collects all this information. She must have a private email where all these racist and bigoted people send her all the things that is on their mind, and she's like, well, this is the content I'm gonna make today. Because what is she talking about? Okay, so let me just make this clear, okay? Because I know this is going to be a video where I'm going to talk about the freedom of speech in a negative light, but let me just let you know now, I appreciate and I understand the essential functions of freedom of speech, especially when you live in a government that has a history and could easily abuse their power to suppress its people speaking against it. Okay, I understand that. I love it. Essentially, it's the reason why I'm on YouTube right now. But oh my God! But let me make this clear: it is certain individuals that will abuse this freedom of speech privilege that we have and embarrass everybody else who's trying to utilize this amendment to further the progress of America. And I am talking about the one person who hates themselves the most. If it's one person I had to bet my money on who hates their own skin, is KLAN-dace Owens. Now, in this video that we're going to watch together, yes, you and me, okay, I'm going to put you through this pain as I'm going to go through this pain. She has the nerve to try to single out an individual who may have been right or wrong in the situation that they were in a different country, and she's going to try to compare another country's laws to our own into essentially saying just be happy for what you have. And that is incorrect in so many ways. It's ridiculous. So let's go ahead, hear what Miss KLAN-dace Owens has to say about America.
All right, let's just start, or stick with rather, the idea of Americans being ignorant, because it's true. Americans very often never leave their home state, let alone see other places within their own country. True. And then even fewer, obviously, leave the United States and go see other countries. So our understanding of culture comes from TV. It comes from American sitcoms. And so basically...
Okay. Whoa. Okay. And I'm just going to apologize now. I'm going to be pausing in this video because I have to consistently fact check this entire spew that she's going to give. One, we don't live in the 70s, in the 60s anymore. We have this thing called technology, okay? Technology, okay? We can search up plenty of different places outside of my home and do a thorough investigation on these other places. Now, of course, you can't, get the full experience like being there exactly. But I mean, when it comes to what she's going to talk about, we can look this stuff up. I don't understand why she thinks we're just like, or maybe she's talking to black folks and she just thinks that black people are just inherently stupid. We just can't take in information and compute that and get some sort of understanding of it. Maybe that's what she's thinking, but for the most part, I think she forgets the power of technology and the information we have in our hand. Obviously. All right, let's let's continue.
Everything is a stereotype. We have no idea what goes on in the rest of the world. And we assume that we are allowed to behave and act and dress and do whatever we want, like we're allowed to do in America. In America, we can twerk on babies. Woo! Try that somewhere else in the world, and you might get into some very severe trouble. Well, there's one woman that learned this lesson the hard way. She was visiting Dubai. And I'll give you the story. She's originally from Houston, and she's now trying to get back to the United States because she has spent 2 months detained in Dubai because she raised her voice. Now, it's important to note that this woman is a Black woman. Her name is Tiara Young Allen. And why I think it's important to note that she's a Black woman is because I speak often on this show about the fact that amongst all the races in America, it is particularly Black people that are being told that we can behave however we want without consequences. This came...
Who is telling particularly Black people we can behave in any way we want? I don't know about you, but I grew up in a family to where we behave our most best when we're out in public, especially, you know, when you go into you know, grocery stores or whatever the case is. You're not to be like those other kids, you know, white kids, you know, and just be screaming and acting a fool. So who is she talking to when she says particularly Black people just think they can act any way they want? Once again, she's trying to build this story. She's trying to front load it. So when you hear the story, you be like, oh, this is what those Black people get. I mean, they think they can act any way they want in America. And this is why a lot of these racist people think they can say and do whatever they want to Black people, because people like KLAN-dace Owens give off these negative stereotypes that are not based in no sort of fact whatsoever. So once again, who?
Obviously, with the rise of BLM, right? You upset about something? Go take a flat screen TV from Target. Somebody else will pay for it. You have a right to be upset. Somebody died that you didn't know at the hands of a police officer. You better run into Gucci and grab yourself a handbag, and no one can say anything to you. And if they say anything to you, you just be sure to call them racist. That's how it works.
Wow.
You just say race, 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 throw down the race card, and people do whatever.
Ooh. It is clear to me KLAN-dace Owens does not care about anything factual. Like, the whole point of her show is to say all the negative, stereo, racist, bigoted things that a white person wish they could say, or really anyone racist. She just collects all this information. She must have a private email where all these racist and bigoted people send her all the things that is on their mind. And she's like, well, this is the content I'm going to make today. Because what is she talking about? Do we need to talk about the January 6th riot? Can we talk about that? Where they were taking dumps on desks and stuff, taking picture of classified information. No. Let's not talk about that. Let's just only talk about critiquing the little parts of a bigger picture when it comes to Black Lives Matter, and just point out the riots that happened, which, you know, I mean, I don't know if she knows, but this included a lot of races, not just Black people. It was a lot of races looting these stores. So what? We're only 1 minute and 39 seconds into this video, and I'm just losing my freaking mind already. It's
whatever you want, really, in America, because they're so fearful of that word. Doesn't really work overseas, least of all in a place like Dubai. So yes, the incident started for Tiara Young Allen. She's a TikTok influencer. And by the way, if you look back into other videos, she tends to behave a little erratically, places like Puerto Rico. But again, she was in Dubai vacationing, and they had a rental car, and they got her and her girlfriend got into a car accident in this rental car. Authorities then impounded the car, and her belongings were taken by the rental car company. Now, she then went, obviously, to the rental car agency and said, I would like to have my belongings back. And they said to her, you're going to have to pay us to get your belongings back. I don't know what their rental car policy is in Dubai, but apparently for access to her items, she was going to have to pay some sort of a fee. And she didn't like that because they had her ID. Who
wouldn't like that? I got into a car accident in a rental. My belongings were in there. They towed the car away. Now I'm trying to retrieve my belongings that was left in the car. Essential things, not just like some chapstick or something. Essential things were left in the vehicle, and now I have to pay money to get my stuff back. I guess that's just a first world privilege. I guess is like I don't have to repay for my own stuff. I don't know, but let's see where she goes with this.
Credit card, and she was not about to, despite the fact that she smashed up their car, pay any undisclosed fees to have them reclaimed. Now, this is when she got a little ratchet. She started yelling at the agent, and the agent subsequently called the police, and she was arrested because in Dubai they have immorality laws, and it is illegal to yell in public, and it is especially prohibited if you are a woman. So she's been detained for 2 months. Now, of course, the American perspective would be like, what sort of a country would allow a woman to be arrested for screaming after she crashed a car at an agent who's telling her that, yeah, you owe us some money here. Your vehicle's been impounded. This is a rental car. Have you no shame? I know that's going to be probably the American perspective because our brain has been warped a little bit. But wow, imagine a world where people were just not allowed to act ratchet in public and scream at people in order to get things done. It's just interesting to consider. Imagine if you...
like, isn't that like America when it comes to Karens every single day, it seems like? Because my YouTube just gets flooded with white people screaming at the top of their lungs. It was just a couple of days in Colorado at a Target, a white woman walking around in blackface, acting a fool, acting like she ain't got no mama, acting like she ain't got no parents. I don't see that story being covered by Miss KLAN-dace Owens. No, of course not, because that's her fan base right there, obviously. But when someone of color, and she's not giving detailed information, who maybe she's not responsible for the car crash, and why can't she still retrieve her items out of the car? But no, because she's a woman of color and she's in some other country. Like, this is KLAN-dace Owens' way of sticking it to black people again. Like, hey, just be happy for what you have here. I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Knew that screaming in public at someone, yelling at someone behind the counter would get you arrested. You probably wouldn't do it. You probably would act more civilized. And that was the point that Zuby made when he came on my podcast. Later on, he said to me, in growing up in Saudi Arabia, he said there were no crimes because people knew that if you stole, you'd get your hands cut off. So who's going to steal? No one's going to steal because you go, oh, you know what? It's actually not worth it for me to steal this item from CVS. I don't want to have my hands cut off. That doesn't seem like a even trade there. So there's no crime. So I'm assuming there's also no...
You know what? I wish we would adopt some of... you know what? I would take a couple of L's when it comes to this. I would adopt some of their policies when it comes to women not being able to essentially have any freedoms, including the freedom to speak, because Miss KLAN-dace Owens wouldn't have a platform. She wouldn't be allowed to talk. She would just have to stay at home and just facilitate babies. Like that's all she would be good for. Because, and honestly, I would take that L, because hearing her speak is literally probably giving me brain cancer at this moment, because it is just nonsense. on every single, oh, well, in their country, they cut off the hands of thieves. Okay. That's not the country we live in. Why are you like glorifying or trying to make that a pleasing if you don't want to adopt everything? Because if you adopt all of their rules, you wouldn't be allowed to speak right now. You would be quiet and stand behind your husband and lips shut, mouths closed. You have no opinions on anything except for maybe your child's name. I don't even know if they even allow that. But I mean, if we're going to try to cherry pick, some instances here, let's bring that to America, because honestly, that probably be better for us.
People yelling. She has found out the hard way. Obviously, her parents are upset about this. They've spoken out, saying how emotional the experience has been. They've stayed up crying all night. Now, the truth is eventually she probably will be released, obviously, and she will be let back into this country. And it will waken her up a little bit in the same way that it woke Brittany Griner up just a little bit when she came back and she realized that she was a brat who couldn't even stand for her flag. She couldn't appreciate her freedom. She didn't even know what freedom was. Right?
Oh, she
had no
didn't know
idea.
what freedom
she had never had any struggle because she grew up as a privileged brat in America. And now Brittany Griner stands for the flag. I'm going to bet that Tiara Young Allen will have a new appreciation for her freedom in America. I'm going to bet that she might adjust some of her ratchet behavior. I think 2 months in prison for her is probably going to be a good experience. In a foreign country, probably going to be a transformative experience.
Okay, Jesus. All right, let's go ahead and switch back here. Okay, like I said, I only can take so much from listening to KLAN-dace Owens here. I wish, since she wants to end her video with, I wish and I hope these individuals will come back into America and have a great appreciation of just what America has to offer. I wish that Miss KLAN-dace Owens herself will find herself in a situation to where she's actually getting racially discriminated against. I want her to lose everything she has, just like with the Tulsa riots. I hope she lose everything just based off her skin color, nothing else, just based off her skin color. I hope she loses everything, and then maybe she gets that back. It's not even a guarantee. And I want her to have an appreciation of the struggles that our ancestors had to endure, so we can be in a position that we're in today. This wasn't given to us. So I don't understand why she's thinking like we just got off lucky or something. No, all these privileges that we have, and we can do what we want. If you want to scream at a rental company here in America, you have the right to. If people of color, if black folks want to use their freedoms that their ancestors fought and died for little to no reason, then damn it, we could do that. And I don't understand why someone like KLAN-dace Owens thinks that they're in a better, higher position to tell black folks how we should be acting. Because I can tell you how you should be. You should be acting like the skin on your body hasn't been beaten, mutilated, destroyed in so many different ways throughout history for the privileges you think that you have. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't free. It came with a price. So, I mean, if you want to try to play this whole, well, I hope one day that such and such will appreciate. Well, one day I want you to. I'm praying that you go through situations to where you can appreciate what your ancestors fought and died for so you can use today. Simple. But once again, if you think I'm wrong, if you think black folks should just be happy for what the white man has given us here in America, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. And like always, let's have that conversation.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing. Make sure to tune in next time, and like always, power to you, power to me, power to the people, power to the pod.